Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on A Way Out. This is one of the best games ever made, and it's a very underrated gem that you might not have heard of until now, but it's also an entirely two-person game, meaning you pretty much need someone else to do co-op with you in order to both play it and get the Platinum Trophy like usual. So I recruited one of my homies named Ghostly to help out since he's been a longtime fan of the channel and been a great dude to talk to on my Discord server as well for a while now. And if anybody else wants to be in future videos or just connect with other people in the community, make sure to join that in the description below. But anyways, A Way Out's Platinum is also one of the easiest and most fun I think I've honestly ever done. And that's because it takes one single playthrough to get, and every single trophy can be gotten first try without really even having a chance at missing them. Also, it takes under 10 hours to get, which is amazing. Anyways, this is also a part of a challenge where I've been trying to platinum over 100 games suggested by the community. And if I can't complete them all before the channel hits 850,000 subscribers, then I have to shave my head and look like a base character from a video game. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Now, A Way Out does not have any stages to get the platinum like most games because it's so simple to do, but me and the homie did still follow the trophy guide available on PSN profiles because it labels out what trophies are attributed to their respectable chapters. But the game is more of a story marvel than a trophy completion game, so let's begin. A Way Out opens up with you and the homie picking your characters. I chose to be Vincent or Vince on the left, and Ghostly chose to be Leo on the right. The game then begins when we watch as a prison transport is taking new prisoners into a prison, of course. And the majority of this game's story is about Vincent and Leo attempting to escape the prison together, because they are both after a man named Harvey who was like this drug/crime lord and a very evil guy. And as you can see right now, the game sort of has two stories happening simultaneously on screen during this intro. Vincent is getting put into prison for the first time and having to go through all the different basics to begin with, whereas Leo has been here for a little bit and is also getting roughed up by one of Harvey's goons in the prison, hinting at some future conflict. There's also a surplus of butts and wieners in this beginning part of the game, so ignore the giant demonetized icon on your screen. But if you were wondering, Vincent is kind of caked up, so it's no wonder he wanted to escape prison so fast. Leo, however, for some reason just wanted to stare at a bunch of nude men. Glad to know he swung that way. It really is character development information. But after all of that, Vincent makes his way to his new cell, which just so happened to be right alongside Leo's. What a damn coincidence. The game then picks up with Vincent and Leo during the next day, or maybe the same day just later on. Who the knows. But they are both in the yard getting some outdoor time, since that is an essential in a growing boy's day-to-day. And this is also the first instance of where a trophy is available. It's called the dip, and it's from having Leo perform 20 dips on the dip bar, but only after talking to the old dude next to it. And we for some reason thought it had to be me who did this because yeah, we're stupid. So I did 20 dips with Vincent, and it was legitimately challenging to press square that much. Like, I'm not kidding around, my thumb and finger got all cramped up, and I think I burned a few calories just like Vincent did in game.
Stop the cap.
So yeah, then Ghostly had to do it with Leo, and he did. Much easier than what I had to go through as well. Turns out Vincent might not be in peak shape like Leo here is. But then the trophy popped and we were almost done with this game's platinum already. The next part of this yard chapter had Vincent and Leo both walk towards the basketball court from differing entrances, and poor Leo ended up getting jumped already. And it was from that dude who threatened him just a few moments ago. So we then had to do a bunch of quick time event combat with both Leo and Vincent. Ignore me getting my ass dropped, I was not locked in. It really is that damn phone, isn't it? But this was the first of many dual quick time event sections where you have to press the buttons at the same time as your partner's turn happens on screen. We really are just growing a big team bond right now, aren't we? In conclusion though, this fight ended with us pretty much wiping the floor with these fools, and then the guards reluctantly walked in to quote unquote break it up, even though everything's already been broken. So what the f are my taxpayer dollars really doing in prisons, huh? However, Leo did not appreciate Vincent helping him out and belligerently told him to stay away, as if we are middle schoolers and broke up 3 days after dating. New PR. The game then goes to a scene in the cafeteria, and Leo got jumped again by the dude Harvey has on the inside, except this time he had a shiv and nearly impaled Leo in the back. Talk about backstabbing, am I right? Oh, sorry, that was bad. That was bad. But Vincent jumped into the action once more to save Leo, as if he truly is in love with the guy. And neither of us had weapons, and apparently Harvey has an entire gang in this prison because we both got simultaneously chased by evil men through the cafeteria. And it was actually a fun time though, that is until the guards showed up again and one of them took one for the team. The scene, however, would then fade away into darkness with a beating in the background. Absolute cinema. Christopher Nolan who? Oh my god! The next part of the game was in the infirmary with both Vincent and Leo being the only two in there. Truly the best of pals already. And this is also the first instance of real teamwork and stealth being used. Basically, Vincent stays in bed the entire time, distracting the nurse with various tactics like flirting, sexual harassment, and spilling things. All the while, Leo sneaks around to steal a tool, as the game calls it. And this tool is our first of many the two will need to utilize during their grand escape of the prison. And as we were being escorted back to the cell block, Leo had to hide the tool on a window ledge outside because because you have to get patted down by the guards to return as you would expect. And this hints at something we would have to get later on. But for now, Leo and Vincent just had a hot erotic talk about being a team. And Leo was still a tad bit reluctant to join up with Vincent because it's a bit weird how much bro wants to be with Leo and escape the prison. Just a little bit suspect is all I'm gonna say. But during the night, Leo ended up agreeing to go in on Vincent's escape plan, but only on the condition that they had to do it his way. And that is the game's intro finished. Cue the epic title screen. God, I'm so hard. So the next day came as it always does, unless you f***ing die during the night. And immediately, Leo and Vincent got up to some tomfoolery, as the kids would say, requesting to have their job changed to the roof tarring so they could sneak and grab the tool Leo placed on the window's edge the day before. And getting to it was actually very easy, requiring you to just break a broom, then request a new one, and while the guy was getting it for you, Leo performed a very accurate and impressive wall sit. Shout out to elementary school gym class. He then lifted up Vincent and I grabbed the chisel, which is the tool Leo hid, as we all know. You then just had to sneak back down, and I'm honestly shocked nobody saw us at all. I mean, the dude is pretty big and was just walking around the roof next to a bunch of people. We also snapped a padlock to let Vincent back outside. My brain just can't accept this. But that was it for the rooftop crime, and we fast forwarded to cell block time again, with another really cool and fun puzzle-y / teamwork section. You have Vincent as lookout and Leo using the chisel to break apart his toilet seal to the wall so we can escape through it. And it begins with Leo doing the chiseling, obviously, but Vincent gets a turn of this later, by the way. And the best tips I can give is, while being lookout, of course, you need to engage in conversation with the guard, but also let the timer run down to almost 0 and then pick your dialogue response, because every little bit of time helps Leo out. So once Leo was finished, and then swaps over to Vincent's turn with the chisel and functions the exact same way except with different people, obviously. And after Vincent's toilet was also chiseled out completely, both the characters slipped through the impressively large gap in the wall where the toilet emptied into. I'm not sure if they're just never going to be able to flush again or what, but this seems very realistic. And the escape is now officially on, with the two characters quite literally in the back rooms of the prison. Maybe we'll even see Puff Daddy or EDP 445 down here, who knows. However, after shutting this fan off, the two would end up reaching a very tall and scary drop into darkness with no way of going down. And the solution they came to on the spot was to use bed sheets. What a brilliant idea. So the two then had to steal some bed sheets, and you'd think that was an easy thing to do, but nothing is free in prison. And the way you go about stealing this was to first yoink a cart and then fill it with bed sheets, and have Vincent hide in it to get pushed into the back room of the laundry sector. Then playing as Vincent, I let Leo in, and we snuck a little bit more until making it to another vent, opening that and then throwing the bed sheets we needed inside. The bed sheet strategy also, for some odd reason, ended up working great, and the two slid down with no issues. I call bullshit. Oh yeah, and the next part of this escape didn't go so well. For one, it was very dark down here, and also it was in these sewers, which was disgusting. Like, that's actually gross as shit, but Leo seemed to love it. I wonder what his childhood was like, I'm not gonna lie. Me and the homie also did get a little bit lost in the tunnels down here because it was so dark and everything looked the same in the darkness, which is usually how it goes. But after that, we reached one more part, and it had us doing that team climb thing that allegedly works in real life if you need to climb up a shaft. Speaking of shafts, tell your mother that it's burning. But we actually ended up failing this quick time event because it's kind of hard to time. I also don't know if it was me who f***ed it up or the homie, but somebody definitely did. Even after making it up all the way though, the boys would reach another block. The vent to get out, or the floor grate to get out, was bolted shut, and we have no way of unfastening it. So all of that shit we just did was basically for nothing for the time being. That hurts. It really does. The next day then began, and the goal was to steal a wrench, which you can do very easily in the workshop right away, so we did. And then you kind of had to pass it back and forth through security to get it back to our cell, which was also easy, I'm not gonna lie. However, once returning it to the cell, an inspection began, and it was a little bit sketch because they seemed to sniff that something was up here. And it was probably Leo, because he just waded through the sewer the night before, which is again disgusting. They didn't catch us quite yet though, and the visitation hours then began. Leo surprisingly has a girl also. I don't know how the f he can pull, but I can't. This is tragic. Vincent also does, but she didn't want to show up at the prison. Struggling marriages go hard, and that's on God. The next night then began, and Vincent and Leo ended up right where we left off the previous night, back at the floor grate. However, we have the wrench this time, and we're able to unfasten the bolts, then sneak up, and that led us to like the guards part of the prison, so a lot of sneaking around happened before we reached the outside, and it just so happened to be raining and storming as well. A perfect night's weather for a prison break if I do say so for myself. And while outside before beginning the real escape, we made it to the warden's office, I think, and he had a birdcage outside, which is kind of cruel if you think about it. So we let the birdie free, and it flew away, grabbing us another trophy on its way out. How scenic. But the prison escape for the most part went very smoothly without any hiccups. That is until we reached a zip line leading out of the prison, and Vincent's fat ass tore down very aggressively, which caused absolute chaos, and guns started to fly everywhere at the two, which in turn led to some very intense running away. And it's kind of a miracle how every single cop in this prison has aim. Like, it's very impressive. I'm glad to see that their training paid off.
That's what I'm saying.
But after a while, the guns died down. We are unsure if they ran out of ammo at the prison, but that's my best guess. And instead, they began to search through the forest on foot to where we were. So this led us into performing a little COD execution on a few guards. Gotta love stealthing areas in games where the stealth is actually good. Ubisoft. But after that finished up, we arrived at a bridge leading off the prison's land. And this is essential for us to cross because you pretty much can't get away if you don't. You also do get posed with two options here. Go topside across it with a cop car and hiding, or go bottom side of the bridge. And we chose to do topside, so Leo drove a cop car while Vincent just cowered in the back. And this worked for the most part until a single cop saw us and didn't recognize Leo. Who would have thought that would happen? Bro didn't even put on a fucking uniform. Some more chaos did occur, and it ended in probably the most dramatic way possible, a car crash. Damn, I could have sworn a woman was driving. Babe, the curb came out of nowhere, I swear. There was then one more final chase section, and we watched as Vincent and Leo ran down a literal mountain in the rain, both nailing this crazy jump as well, which is kind of nuts if you think about how slippery it must be. For them to get that good of traction is a feat on its own. This must be God's plan. But that allowed Leo and Vincent to finally escape the cops and actually achieve getting out of prison. So the game swaps over real fast to Harvey, and we saw his part in this story, confirming that he did have guys inside that were supposed to take out Leo by now, but have failed. In a fit of rage, he also committed 2 homicides, which is hype. Back to Leo and Vincent now. We saw them both just peacefully walking through the very gorgeous forest we were inside of. You can also get another trophy here as well from just sitting on this like rock bench by a waterfall and having a secret cutscene trigger. So here's that trophy pop. The boys then had to start a fire and fish at some camp to get some energy back after that chaotic as hell night. Fishing, by the way, is kind of luck, but also skill, so it truly is like real life fishing, to be honest. After traveling a little bit more down the mountain, however, the two would come across a farmhouse owned by an older couple, and we then just snuck inside of it to take them out, in a peaceful way, of course, because we needed to resupply and form a plan out of this damned countryside. And after stashing the old people in the closet, me and the homie would then go get quite a few trophies here because for some reason the game decided to add like 3 of the 15 total in this house. The first trophy was from playing a song in sync with each other, and you must have Vincent play the piano and Leo on the banjo or else this will not work. Me and bro, we did not know that. We tried our best, okay? The one swapping was very easy to get, and here it is. There was also this trophy from pulling a clock's hidden levers at the same time, and we were also not in a VC, which made this kind of hard to do, but luck behold, it worked eventually, and Vincent found this sword in a chest, which was a trophy. And the third and final trophy in this farm area was from climbing a windmill and then making it spin. Low-key, that's forced labor, but after it did get to spinning, this trophy popped like usual. The rest of this section at the farmhouse then consisted of Vincent and Leo working together to put this old car back in working form, so we could hopefully drive it away into the sunset and put some real distance between us and the godforsaken prison we just escaped. However, after getting it mostly together, the damn old couple made it out of the closet and called the police. The dude also tried to shoot at us. Attempted murder, my guy. You could go to jail for that. Actually, probably not, but still. Seeing as they got the car working though, it was a clean escape. And the next part of this game was a ton of fun, and this game's car scenes are actually some of my favorite. It's so simple yet so fun to get chased by cops in this game. It's a weird feeling. I was also doing the driving, thankfully, so it was basically all up to Ghostly and his aim to help us not get shredded by the cops and die. But as we all know, if it was me shooting, we would probably be fucked, so this is a good idea. And yeah, we then just kind of got chased by cops for a few minutes. It was a lot of fun, like I said. Ultimately though, we crashed the glorious and highly valuable whip into a riverbank. And I'm still not sure how a single cop has not managed to hit us with their guns. It's getting a bit ridiculous. Also, just across the river was a boat so conveniently left with the paddles and all. So the two just took it and began to whitewater raft. This might be the luckiest prison escape to ever exist. And the rafting section was also a ton of fun as well. This game slaps, bro, and I'm not saying that because I'm sponsored or anything. It's actually that good. I would highly suggest you get a friend to platinum this with, and that's the truth. But after reaching the end of the river and a very steep waterfall, the boys had to ditch the good old boat and somehow parkour off of it onto a ledge. Pure athleticism, motherfucker. We then watched as they showed us that the two finally made it back to the city where they were both from and live in. We also saw Leo tell Vincent what finally happened with Harvey and how he ended up in jail and all that good stuff. Don't we just love lore, am I right? Anyways, the following scene and chapter was more story orientated opposed to combat and action themed, having us go to the trailer park where Leo lives at with his wife and kid. And it's kind of a vibe, I'm not gonna lie. There's also quite a few trophies here which made it even more fun to do. The first trophy was from telling this angry woman with a bat that her husband was currently smashing the brains out of another woman in a trailer literally right in front of her. I'm not sure how she couldn't figure that one out herself, but she's living in a trailer park, so that might say something. But it was a trophy regardless for being a snitch. Leo and Vincent then went on a seesaw together, and it was kind of awkward. Brokeback Mountain would like to have a word with these two. Upcoming sequel, I hear. Anyways, that was a trophy. The last trophy here was then from hitting a home run in baseball, and I'm just gonna spoil this right now. Getting a home run in A Way Out is probably harder than hitting one in real life. In fact, I'm gonna leave this footage uncut for you all to enjoy and experience my suffering in real time. If you want to skip it like a bitch baby, then the timestamps will show up on screen right now, but all the real ones are gonna watch. So yeah, I finally hit a home run and then I busted in my pants as the trophy popped. Don't you just love to see it? But with that trophy done, me and the homie then did progress the story finally, and we met up with Leo's girl and his kid. There was also another trophy here, by the way, from helping Leo's girl fix up his bike as Vincent, so I also did do that and got yet again another trophy pop. There was then a little part that had us playing basketball against Leo's kid as he had some tough talks with his lady. I also totally fucking dunked in that little shit and I feel great right now. But that was then basically it for this part of the game, and Leo said one last goodbye to his little offspring before it swapped over to the next chapter. This one took place in a construction site and we spent the entirety of it chasing down a man who has info on Harvey and his whereabouts. The chase scene actually went kind of hard and it was again a ton of fun. This game mastered the chase aspect and it's kind of beautiful to see. Once we did catch him though, the game had us do a little interrogation scene on him, and you could choose a multitude of different items to use on the guy. But if you use a few specific ones in order, you get a special scene which shows the guy getting kicked off very aggressively in a trophy pops in succession. But that's not what's supposed to happen, obviously, because we need this information. So he did it the right way and he told us Harvey's whereabouts. The boys then just left him there. Don't slip is all I gotta say. There was then a very odd scene that had the two robbing a gas station for money to buy guns with. In my opinion, this is also the only bad part about the game because it just felt very unneeded and uninteresting. I mean, for f***'s sake, nobody even died. And I definitely wanted to shoot that cashier bitch. But apparently the gas station had enough dough stashed in the back to buy some guns, so that's cool. And we met up with this other lassie out in the desert to buy them, and also test them on various props, which was fun. A cutscene then played after and it showed Vincent's girl going into labor without him. Leo and Vincent then went to a theater of sorts for some reason. I actually don't know why they did this, but yeah, they're there now. And this is also when Vincent got the news that his baby is on the way. But before he could dip, one of Harvey's goons showed up to take them both out, and there was a very long combat chase scene with this guy. Ultimately though, it ended with both Vincent and Leo pulling this rope on the guy's neck, and I can't even imagine what that felt like. Probably like shit, unless you're into that. The game then went to the hospital for Vincent to see his baby's delivery, and yeah, he missed it. Probably due to the boys watching TV in the waiting room, which was also a trophy. But he ended up having a girl. I feel bad for bro. And then the cop showed up to sour the party. 12 for real. So there was then another cop chase scene through the hospital, and I'm not gonna lie, I know I already said that this game mastered the chasing aspect, but damn, this was insane how good it is. I would dare near say perfection with this chase scene. The amount of swapping back and forth between Vincent and Leo while having it weave together so immaculately is just a genuine feat of technological masterclass. A Way Out got me pulling them fancy English essay words out of my ass today. Sadly though, it would end, like all good things must, and we saw Vincent just crash the cops' party and Leo jumped into the car. Once more, the cops missed every single shot. Get them to a range as soon as possible. We then ended up in a hangar with a plane getting ready for the final part of this game. And also the final two trophies were obtained here as well. The first one was from playing the arcade game with each other in the hangar bay, and it pops as soon as you open the game, so you don't have to play it fully, but me and the homie did, and yes, I lost. Yeah, I lost. But I let him win. I was trying to be nice, okay? And then the final trophy came from Leo trying to pilot this helicopter off outside the hangar bay, which he quite clearly could not do, so after he failed miserably, the trophy popped, and that was the last one of the game, so the platinum did as well. This is actually the first time I've ever platinumed a game without even finishing the game. A Way Out really just wanted to be unique, didn't they? Shout out EA for publishing a good game for once. But don't worry, I'm not gonna blue ball you guys and end the video right now. But the last mission of this game had the two of us skydiving down into the island where Harvey's drug lord crime god mansion was at. And you basically just fought goons the entire time until reaching the main place. Then you actually battled him, and it ended with us putting multiple bullets into his face, and him not really being fazed by it until the adrenaline or his brain stopped working. So we accomplished what we set out to do and then flew back home. Upon landing though, the cops were there and caught both Vincent and Leo right as he stepped out of the plane. And this is where the biggest plot twist of the story happens, which I kinda suspected but also didn't at the same time. Vincent is an undercover cop. Talk about betrayal, man. I'm pretty sure Leo fell in love with Vincent also, so this is like a double strike to the heart for poor Leo here. But then Leo took Vincent hostage, and it turns out the game isn't over yet. So Leo is now holding Vincent hostage and took him to a warehouse of sorts. Eventually they broke apart, and this is one of the coolest parts of the game. You have a 1v1 with Vincent versus Leo, friend battling friend. Also, shout out to bro for accepting my DoorDash timeout so I could retrieve my supplies. Ghost Lee's a real one. But anyways, I know what you're wondering, who won the 1v1? Well, I did, because I'm the best gamer alive and bro tried his absolute hardest without letting me win one bit. for sure. And seeing as there isn't any more trophies to pop, the game then just kind of ends with Vincent going to Leo's house to give the bad news. Kind of a sad ending. But Vincent also quit his job at the FBI, seeing as that was a f***ing emotional roller coaster of an assignment. And his bitch ass ginger wife took him back. She for the streets, Vincent, she for the streets. So yeah, that was the A Way Out Platinum Trophy experience. What a game, man, what a game. I don't think I've ever played such a great game with such perfect story elements in a long time. Especially since this only lasted 5 hours from start to finish. I think I got more out of those 5 hours of gaming than I did out of every single Ubisoft title I've ever played. Did Ubisoft just catch another random stray? You're goddamn right they did. Okay, that's all. I love you guys, thanks for watching. Shout out Ghostly, you got dogged on in the 1v1, bro, I can't lie.